The Bamboo Project podcast starts in 3, 2.
Welcome to the Bamboo Project podcast. My name is DonivanGray, the future $10 billion man. On the way to 10 billion, I decided I'm going to help create 1,000 millionaires, including myself, and not by being a guru or selling a course, but by doing the things I already love to do every day and documenting the journey to get there. I figure I'll make all the mistakes so you don't have to. My name is DonivanGray, and this is how I will turn my life into a living. I'd like to start off by giving a shout out to all the people rocking with us and supporting the channel. We really appreciate you. We are currently streaming on all major streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, you name it, we on it. And if we not on it, we about to be on it. For everyone listening to this podcast and not watching it, you can find us on YouTube at The Bamboo Project. We have over 400 videos on our channel. Do you want to see our real estate journey? We got that. Do you want cooking tutorials inspired by Dr.Sebi? We got that. Do you want travel and lifestyle vlogs? Got it. Makeup and hair growth tutorials? Got it. Basketball? Got it. Turo? Got it. Candles? Got it. It's everything us. All the parts of the journey that don't make it to YouTube will be on our story. You can find me on Instagram at DonivanGray, DonivanGray, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Anita Byrne, ANETABURN. All right. The Bamboo Project is about turning your life into a living by making money off the things you already do every day. All right. We made different playlists for all the things we are into, and you can find all of those links in the description box below. This may be your first time here, and if it is, welcome to the family. But for everyone else, this is chapter 3, page 135. Okay. This podcast has 4 different segments: life update, episode playback, Donovan's questions, and the topic of the day. All video and audio timestamps will be in the description box below. Today's date is Tuesday, October 18th, and it's 8:33 a.m. All right, we have a busy day ahead of us. Okay. Now, before I get into life update, I always say, if I don't take advantage of my phone, then my phone is taking advantage of me. And to prevent that, I like to do screen time checks so I know how often I am on my phone. All right, so let's see how much time I spent on my phone last week. On my phone, I spent an average of 8 hours and 54 minutes per day. Lord have mercy. Whew, Jesus Christ. Okay, so the week before that, I think it was like 6 hours. It was almost 7 hours. So I went up about 2 hours. I used my phone the most on Thursday for 13 hours. How does that work? For the week was YouTube for 11 hours and 56 minutes, which is very low. Google Maps for 10 hours and 18 minutes. Maybe I did a lot of driving last week. Maybe that's why. And then Instagram for 10 hours and 12 minutes. So I was not on any app for more than 2 hours per day.
I think you went somewhere Thursday.
By myself? Oh, yes. That's probably where I went on Thursday. Yes. I went to do some, I ran some errands. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. And I listened to YouTube there. Google Maps probably on the way there. Okay. I picked up my phone on average 79 times per day, which is extremely low than normal. And then beautiful, phenomenal, amazing girlfriend, what is your screen time for last week?
My screen time for last week was 5 hours and 30 minutes. My most used app was Instagram at almost 10 hours. Then Google Maps for 6 hours. Then Gmail for 4 hours. And then TikTok for 4 hours as well, and then YouTube for 3 hours. I don't usually have YouTube up there. And then I picked up my phone on average 143 times. Most was Saturday, in which I picked up my phone 199 times.
All right, now subscriber check. As of October 18th, we have 6,022 subscribers. We just crossed the 6,000 mark maybe the day before yesterday. So I think by the end of the year, we normally do between like 375 and like 440 subscribers a month. So we could possibly get to 7K by the end of the year. 10K, we would have to really put our foot on it to get to 10K, which I don't think is impossible. But I think we'd have to be strategic about it. And right now we don't have a plan to get to 10K. We're just we're focusing a lot on the candles right now. So, but now let the podcast begin. All right. So this is my second time doing the podcast standing up. Number 2. All right. The first one, a lot of people was real spicy in the comments last week, which is cool. All right. I'm going to get to that in a second. But one of the things I wanted to address on that was, shout out to my guy, 818 Southside. He actually wanted to have Melissa on the podcast to answer a couple of questions. So we are going to start that off with letting Melissa come on and...
Can we do that now?
And yes, we're going to start off with that.
I thought he was going to do something.
Nah. We're going to clap it up for Melissa. Put on the clap effect. Yay! Woo! And now Melissa will be answering 818 Southside's questions.
Hello.
You want to...
Hello, everybody.
You want the mic?
Sure.
Or the headphones? Sure. All right.
Yeah, you can't be here. You
actually, wait. Hold on. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to read what he said, and I'm going to step off camera and let Melissa give her response. So I'm also going to put, for people who are watching, I'm going to put it on the screen so you can also read it too, in case, my dyslexica kicks in and I can't read properly. Okay, so 818 Southside said, I'm curious on Melissa's opinion on a topic you touched on. Maybe she can answer on the podcast so she can talk freely and give a woman's perspective. As a man, I'm interested in hearing the other side. Okay, he has 2 main questions. Question number 1 is, does she think you working a full or part-time would be beneficial in your guy's situation? That's number 1. And then number 2 is, would she mind losing a bit of the freedom or free time you have now in exchange for a little bit of financial stability? And now I will pass it off to my beautiful, phenomenal, amazing girlfriend, Anita Burnett. There you go. Also, I'm gonna put on the screen too, so
you're gonna put it on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna lower the mic a little bit because I'm a little bit shorter than Donovan is. Well, not really. I'm like 6'5". Honestly, I'm taller than him. The question is, okay, does she think working a full-time, part-time job would be beneficial for you guys? So funny enough, if you asked me before, my answer would have been yes. Yes, we should get a part-time or full-time job to help with all the things that we're doing and so on and so forth. And I did it. I got a job. I think I got 2 jobs. How many jobs did I get?
The PA.
I did PA work. Technically, the event work is still technically PA work. And then I was gonna do UX design.
Yes.
Yeah, because so let me get into the thought process behind that. So yeah, part-time I was doing PA work. If you guys aren't familiar with that, it's a production assistant in the film industry. So I worked on shows like with Paris Hilton and with Lord, if you know who that is, and something that just came out on YouTube Originals called Supreme Models, and some other ones too. And I started that quote unquote career, because that's a career for people, not for me personally, because from doing it I learned I'm not interested in it. But I started that career path while on YouTube, while trying to figure all this stuff out. I have a friend, a really good friend that, had put me on and everything like that. And I worked in the film industry. For 12-hour. I did 12-hour days. I would go in for my 12-hour shifts and I would make $250 a day. Right? That's not bad. If I work 5 days, that's $1,200 by the end of the week, right? Not bad. I also, after I realized I don't like working 12-hour days, because 12-hour days are crazy, that's insane, I found a job that is like event production, and that one paid $25 an hour, way over minimum wage. But that job wasn't consistent, still part-time, right? And I started looking into doing UX design, trying to get a full-time job, and that would, I need a resume and have to finish the course, have to do all the projects and stuff that come with it. And it's not that I didn't think that I couldn't do it. We ended up selling candles, right? I don't think you guys understand the candles. The reason, yes, okay. Let me make sure I'm answering the question because that's not a problem. I have to focus on the question that's being asked. No, I do not think that working a full-time or part-time job would be beneficial for our situation. Why? Because I did it, and it's insane to work 12-hour days. It's insane for me to focus on that when the candles right now are doing so well. So no, I don't think that would be beneficial for us. Would I mind losing a bit of freedom or free time that we have now in exchange for a little financial stability? Honestly, I don't have free time right now. Freedom freedom is a little bit different because we do have the freedom to make our schedule, but that doesn't mean that I have free time. The candles is a lot of work. It's a lot of work we're doing with these candles, making them, with reaching out to different people, with doing a craft fair every weekend. We're booked right now until December, y'all. We are booked for the craft fair till December. So what I give up making the schedules that we make now, like I said, I don't have free time in exchange for a little bit of financial stability. The financials is getting stable. It's getting stable. And I think that, we're probably going to touch on it more in the rest of the podcast. I don't know what Donovan is planning on saying next. So I don't want to say too much. But the financials are getting stable. So no, I would not want to give up the freedom or free time that we have now in exchange for financial freedom, in exchange for financial stability. Because even though I understand it's not stable, because we had the last 3 weeks off, so I would not call it stable, but it is. We now have the ability to make money by ourselves, which is something that we didn't have before. So I would not give that up. No. Any questions you had? Anything you thought about what I was saying?
Does she think you working a full-time, part-time that would be beneficial in your guys' situation? Okay. How did you feel before and versus how do you feel now?
Well, how I felt before a lot of things were going on, that a lot of different things were affecting us at the same time. We had to go to Philly a lot because the house was still being renovated. There were different kind of issues and with I don't even know why we took off for a couple months of doing the craft fairs, but I think that's because we were focusing on getting the house done, and we were kind of going back and forth a lot.
We didn't have the money.
We also didn't have the money.
We would take all the money that we make, like the $1,400, and then put it to the house.
Right. So during that time, we had a different focus. The main thing that we were focusing on, the main focus was getting the house done, because once we get that on the market, it could sell and we will just get rid of it, and then we could focus on the candles. So during that time period, the main focus was still getting money. So at that time, I probably would have considered getting a job, or that's also when I started doing the UX design, because I felt like I needed something that would give me money now, and I felt like getting a job would be the only way to do that. Getting a job sucks. Trying to get a job sucks. Just being completely honest. Having to apply if you don't know your resume skills and stuff like that. And when I say resume skills, I'm not even talking about the paper. I'm talking about what you put on the application, or trying to, you're not even trying to appeal to the person. You're trying to appeal to the computer that's scanning your resume before they give it to the person. It's a lot. And also there's interviewing, all those other things, and then also just getting the job. Because like I said, when I worked in the film industry, I hated it so much. 12-hour days is insane. And I did that shit for the most, because it's something called day playing, so I'll do it one day at a time. The most I did it at a time was probably 5 days in a row, 2 weeks in a row, and I hated that. 12-hour days, I don't think y'all are comprehending it. I don't think I'm comprehending it, but I make candles in the house. I'm not even gonna. such a different environment. I could put my anime on the TV. I could go grab a snack if I want a snack. Like I'm chilling. It's not, no one's telling me what to do. I know what to do, managing myself, doing what needs to get done. And I would not give that up to get a part-time job, because getting a full-time job is not easy. Like, it's not, even getting a part-time job is not easy, but getting a full-time job, that's really like hurdles that you have to get through in order to do that. That's a whole career path we're talking about. Part-time, it's soul sucking. It's soul sucking.
Okay, so my other question is, what would you say to other women in similar situations to you?
In terms of what?
If they are with a guy who either has no money, or if they are a guy that has no money, what would you suggest? Should they get a girlfriend? Should they not get a girlfriend? Should the woman leave him? What would you suggest? Those are two questions. For one answer, one from the men's perspective, and then one from the woman's perspective. Like, if somebody's watching this and thinking, should I do what she's doing, or should I not do what she's doing? What would you suggest them to do?
It's hard for me to suggest something for somebody else to do. I could kind of tell you why I did what I did.
Okay, so I think that's a good.
Why I did what I did. Honestly, it's because I trust Donovan. The way that we started dating and everything like that, and what we were able to do in such a short time, and how he was able to like manage himself, just dedicated. The man worked every day, and I would be at work all the time too. So we would always, it was fun because I was a supervisor, so I could talk to him while I'm at work. He's working, and yeah. So I'm trying to think, because when I met you, you had a job. You were doing it consistently, and you were making a good amount of money from your job. And I had a job, and I was working consistently, and I was making a good amount of money from my job. I just got promoted. So it's like that's how we met. And then we decided to build something along the way afterwards. And that, honestly, I think that's the different thing about you as opposed to the different guys that I was talking to before, because the guys that I was talking to before didn't really have something, or what they did have, it wasn't really like, they had it because they were older, not necessarily because they were good at what they were doing or trying to build not even trying to build something, but trying to be it's not independent. What is the word for that? Self-sufficient. Like, they weren't really trying to get more than what they had. So it just, that's the main difference between Donovan and other guys that I talk to. And I think that's a big thing. It's a big thing. And also kind of knowing how to get there too. So because I'm like, that's how I made my decisions. And then also, we talk about things together, like all the plans and all the things that happen. We talk about it together. You guys, witness some of the talks. So we kind of get to, the main point is for us to kind of either get to the same understanding, like for both of us to understand what's going on, or to hear each other's ideas out. Like, we're both trying to push ourselves forward, as opposed to, I think that would be it. I would say to be in a relationship in which you are both trying to push yourselves forward, as opposed to being one person trying to push somebody else up. I think the main difference is that in our relationship, we are both trying to move forward individually. I want to move forward individually. You want to move forward. And we so happen to be moving each other forward in our relationship, as opposed to being in a relationship where I want to move forward and you don't want to move forward.
The only thing I would say that I agree with that, but I don't know if people will understand. I think they'll misconstrue it, because you have to also think about, are you guys moving forward towards the same thing? If I want to own a business and you want to have a family, and I want to, like, we're both moving forward towards this thing, but they're two separate things that don't really coincide with each other.
I mean, we're doing that right now.
What do you mean?
What you want is different from what I want. I want to be a superstar.
Yeah, I don't want to be famous. I don't be.
But your top goal is being a billionaire. My top goal is being an artist.
Well, my top goal is not to be a billionaire. So, just for everybody out there who thinks that is not my top goal, to be a billionaire, guys. But yeah, that is on the path to my top goal.
And your top goal is the city?
Is what?
The city?
Not really.
What's your top goal?
My top goal is to fix the black culture. And on the path to get there, I probably will have to have those other things. So, I would say that my top goal, if I was to put it into words, was to give black people a seat at the table. That's what I would say. All right. So, that was the beginning of the podcast. Now, further on with the life update, okay? Y'all know that we have a lot of craft fairs coming up. Okay, we are finally at the point where we are stabilizing the candles. This week, we're triple booked this week. Okay, we're at a new craft fair. I believe I put it in the last podcast. It's called NYC Turnstile. We actually have a really packed day today because we are going to, after the podcast right now, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. It's about 9 o'clock now. We have to leave here, go and pick up packages or inventory because USPS was doing nonsense with the packages, so we don't even know where they at. So we got to go find those. Then we have to drive to Jersey. You remember us picking up beeswax? We're going to pick up the beeswax. We bought 100 pounds of beeswax for the upcoming craft fairs for the next couple of weeks. Then once we leave there, it's a 2-hour drive to Jersey, maybe an hour and a half. And they have to drive from there back to the city. And then we're going straight to the Turnstile location, which is on 59th Street and Columbus Circle. And we're going to set up down there. Now, when I say set up, I use that word very, very sparingly because we have nothing to set up at all. Okay, we are just, for the first day, we want to just see what we should expect when we get there. We're thinking about possibly using that space to, at some point, maybe edit podcasts or kind of even do candle prepping things while we're down there, because we saw another lady who was doing her flowers. She was prepping downstairs for the flowers. So we're like, okay, we could probably do that same thing. The main goal is to just hand out samples. Hand out the samples and just say, hey, you want a free sample? Try it, smell it, see what the thing has, see if we get any sales, see what goes on from there. But it's just getting there today. Okay, so that is our day planned out. We were thinking about going live on the way over there, but I really want to go and do Discord. Okay, Discord. This episode, I'm telling y'all right now, I'm putting the Discord in the link below. I'm putting it on in the details. We don't have the exact name yet, but it will be on it, on whether you're listening to it somewhere or you're watching the video. We're making a Discord. We want everybody who's listening to join the Discord because, like I said last week, I know a lot of y'all had opinions on different things and y'all were commenting it. Amazing, phenomenal, great. I love it. I would prefer to be able to talk to people. And on Discord, if we're on live, we can have a video call or an audio call people, and they can say their opinion, and everybody else who's there can hear who's on a live can hear what they're saying. And that to me is the most genuine interaction we can get through social media. Like, okay, you have an opinion on what you think about working part-time or security or freedom. Let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation to see why you think what you think, why I think what I think, and we can actually flush it out. And at that point, we could talk for hours. I could talk to everybody. Like, I love to talk. I could talk to 12 people, 20 people. I probably have. Well, depending on how fun it is, I might end up doing it for too long. I might have to, curtail it and bring myself in. But I love to have those conversations. So, like I said, we're 100% doing a Discord, and it will be in the somewhere. It's probably going to be in the description. I might even put it on the video. That would be me trying to be saucy if I put it on the video. So I'm telling you, if you have opinion on whether, here's how I see it going in the future. Okay, The Discord will be a space where everybody who comments on the podcast, who watches the videos, they might have information that other people don't have. So the things that you're telling me, other people may also be able to use them. So if they're in the Discord, you can also, it's like a big group chat that you can FaceTime and do audio messages with. So we're going to have it where you can like, hey, I just learned about credit repair, or I just learned about this and I just learned about that. And people could either verify like, yo, nah, that don't work, bro. I tried it. It's not working. It's not hitting. Or, yo, that's really it. Hit up this person or hit up this company to get that. I'm trying to get to that point. So I'm excited for that. Now on to one of the next topics. So we told you earlier that the candles are stabilizing, right? Shout out to my big sister. Okay. Shout out to her. She is one of the most supportive people in my entire life that I've ever had ever. And even just saying that, I feel like it doesn't do her enough justice personally. So I actually have an interview with her on here. I don't know episode. Can you find the episode that I have with her? She has been supporting me my entire life from birth. Like I said, I cannot give y'all all the things that she has done, but just an example of some of the things would be, right now it's more financial, which is kind of funny because she was saying that she prefers to do more financial supporting than more labor supporting at this point in her life. But before, I think it's funny, when she wasn't working where she's working now, she would take me to the sex shop because I'm like, yo, I got this girl I'm trying to do some new stuff with, and I'm like, I don't have a car and I gotta go there before school. She like, all right, cool, I'll drop you off, I'll take you over there. So she would drive me over there. I'll get the little butterfly, I'll get the new lube, I'll get all the new stuff that just came out, and I will buy it and I'll go back in the car. But obviously I might have been like 15, 16, which is kind of Justin's age. As a 16-year-old, you don't really want to tell your mom like, hey mom, I'm trying to get this vibrating dildo with a clit pusher. It just came out. Can you take me to the store to go get it? Because they're gonna look at you like you're crazy. So I asked my sister, and she was like, all right. 26. So episode with my sister is episode 26, where me and her talk. And so there was that. Then there was a point in time where I wanted to get into electric bikes, and I mean by actually just delivering food. At the time, I was using a regular bike, bless you, and I knew if I had an electric bike, I could make way more money, but it just cost too much. And the amount of time it would take me to make that money, I'm like, it seems ridiculous if I can make the amount of money now. So example, at the time I was making $700 a week, roughly, right? About $100 a day, give or take. With the e-bike, I could double that. So that means I could make $1,500 in 1 week with the e-bike. And if I borrow $3,000, I can pay that money back within 2 to 3 weeks. If I was to save up $700, I'd have to save up every single check. It would probably take me 2 months, maybe more, of working every day consistently just so that I can pay off this bike. She lent me $3,000. Everybody was mad because they said, hey, you lent him $3,000. You're going to pay back $5,000. That's crazy. Why'd you do that to him? But at the time, he was the only person to support me. So, and like I said, since then, the last thing I remember I'm going to talk about is one of the reasons I think the way I think now about money or just planning in general comes from her. So breaking things down. This is a very profound thought to me at the time. I might have been 15, 16 years old. And we had sat down and we were in a subway on by the Grand Concourse on, where was that? By Yankee Stadium, somewhere in that area, right? And she had said, what are your expenses? Right? So I wrote them down. I said, I got my phone bill. I got this subscription. I got this other bill. I got to pay for this. And I did the math. She's like, okay, so you have, each month you have $300 of expenses you have to pay, right? I'm like, yeah. She said, okay, how much money do you make? I'm like, okay, let me see. I got this much money, this much money, this much money, this much money. And she's like, okay, so that means that every single month you, out of the money that you make, this is the amount of money that goes to that. This is how much you have left over. So if you want to save or make money, you have to make sure that you have at least this much set aside to pay your bills, right? And at the time, I don't know why it was so crazy to me. I'm just like, why does nobody talk about this? Why does nobody talk about budgeting and putting money to the side and how to budget, how to plan, how to save? When I say it's crazy, the kind of planning, and she just turned 34 maybe. she has already planned out to where she wants her cemetery to be at and what her tombstone's gonna look like. That's how far in advance she's thinking about planning. Insane, right? So what she decided to do was she let us use her credit card because, again, she loves to plan, so she loves points. So she said, I'm like, listen, we got 3 craft fairs coming up. Well, we got triple booked, not 3 coming up. We have a bunch of them coming up.
We have 3 this weekend.
Right, we have 3 this weekend coming up, and then we have 2. We have one every day at Turnstile, and then we have the other one next weekend, and then we're triple booked again on November 6th, and we might be triple booked for some other dates coming up, but I'll get to that later. So she gave us her credit card to use the points on, right? So now every time we buy, she gets points for it, and we pay her back from the money that we get from the craft fair. So that way we have the runway to be able to actually reinvest the money back into the company. And whatever money we need for our weekly bills, we just take that amount off. Right now it's like, I would say we spend about $300 per week. That's just rough. At least $200 on groceries, and then an extra $100 on other things that come up. But sometimes we spend under $200 on groceries. But I say $300 just to be conservative, just to be generous, so I know I cover everything. So $300 a week. If we make $1,400 at the craft fair, I'm gonna give her $1,100. Here, $1,100. I'll buy it with the credit card, and I'll give her the money right back at the end of the week. But the thing why it's great is because she gave us a limit to use or spend up to $5,000. So that means that we can now finally buy products at a lower price because we're buying it in bulk, and we can buy it early enough that we know that we'll have it for when we have to get to the craft fair, and we can make sure that we have dates booked in the future. So the problem we had before was trying to go, okay, it's Saturday. We have to buy enough stuff for next weekend while also trying to book the craft fair 5 weeks from now, while also trying to pay our bills for this week, while also trying to account for the shipping and travel time for the things that we order. Because now if I want to order a particular thing, I have to order it earlier because it won't get there in time. Because if Melissa's making the candles, I would prefer to make the candles on Monday or Tuesday, right? So that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, she's not working. But if we order the candles, they don't come in until Thursday, the materials, she can't make the candles till Thursday night, Friday. So I'm like, that's just going to put more stress on the craft fair because now the candles are just made the day before. She's stressed, and I'm like, okay, that's not going to work. But that's what we have to do because we don't have any money. So this $5,000 runway has freed up so much space and time, so much. And because it's a revolving credit, it's like, okay, we know we have this $5,000 to spend every single time. And the things that we just bought, honestly, yesterday we bought so much stuff. We bought 100 pounds of wax, which we now got at $650. Okay. So for all my data people out there, all my people into numbers. Okay. So it'll be $520 for 60 pounds of beeswax. All right. Right now, because we were able to buy the beeswax wholesale, we are getting 100 pounds for $620 pretty much, right? $650. So if we were to buy the 100 pounds the other way, we would be spending over $1,000 on beeswax, roughly $1,000 on the beeswax. And just because we can now buy it earlier, we save money. So now that we're saving money, it means the candles will make more money. And now that we have the inventory now, we can, once we make money at the craft fair, we can buy things to now make the business better. One of those things that we finally bought is a wax melter, okay? And it's a Presto pot, right? So we bought 2 Presto pots. So currently we can only melt 3 pounds at a time of wax. That, and how many candles is that? 3 pounds.
That is 18 small candles.
Uh-huh.
And that would be like almost 5 big candles.
Now that we have the wax melter, it can do 11 pounds. That's 3 times the amount. 3 times the amount we can now do just by buying the wax melter. So now we can make all the candles earlier and have them ready for future craft fairs. We also have bought the stuff for the lighting. We can now finally reinvest the money back into the candles. We take the money to pay for our groceries for the week, whatever, laundry, things like that, and everything else right back to the credit card, because now we getting points.
And just so y'all know, 3 times as much. That's 54 candles. 18. From 18 to 54.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought it was 70 something. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So that's 54 candles. And mind you, that's just from 1 container. We're going to have 2. So that would be 108 containers.
How much it does the...
11. pounds.
11?
Yeah, so we could make, so instead of 18, we could make 66. And that's 122, something around that at one time. It's so crazy how many candles we can make at one time. Honestly, and you said how many big? 5?
It's like 4.5.
So,
let's say 4.
So that means that you could now do 20 big candles on one, and on the other one you could do 70 small. Yeah, I got 2. 70 small candles and 50 and 20 on the other side. That's crazy. That's 2 craft fairs at one table. Y'all seen her make the candles. Y'all see kind of how that process goes. We're gonna have another video where we go through it again, honestly, with the updated equipment. We have the cry cut machine. Oh, also, there's one more thing. So because we have the runway from the credit card and the points, we can buy the label and the samples online. So that saves time from having to print it in this goddamn awful printer. So we save money with that. They all come already printed to the house. For $45, you could get 500 cards. 500 for $45. That's crazy. So it's crazy. It's less than $200 for all of them. It's just insane. So there's that. And we're thinking about buying the other labels too. We bought extra 10s already. I can't see it really here, but we've been re-wicking. I'm gonna say prepping the wicks early now, so we can just stick them in there and go. Listen, the process is gonna be so optimized. I'm trying to tell Melissa, like, listen, you're not gonna have to do no work. All you have to do is just pour the candles, and that's it. Right now, I'm working on, once we do the next craft fair, I want to get some type of spout so she can just pour the candles without even having to pick up the tin. Just whoop, 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 and then we just wick them. They already wicked, so they don't have to worry about that. Just put the cap on and the label on, and we just go. And the heat lamp too. That's another one too. Because the other thing that takes a long time to do is melting the wax, which is one of the thumbnails that y'all probably saw, which we kind of got shadow banned for. But so it's, so on and so forth. So I'm happy. I'm super happy about that. Now last week, okay, we did a craft fair. All right, for all the people that want me to do part-time work. Okay, I'm gonna get to y'all. Don't worry. I'm gonna get to all of y'all, especially Mr. Work at Chick-fil-A. I'm getting to all of y'all. All right. So now, last week, during the craft fair, on Saturday and Sunday combined, we made over $1,800. Okay, that's over $1,800. Now, one thing I realized is I need to make it more, I want to say, relatable. I think that's the term I should be looking for. Okay, so $1,800 in 2 days. So if we were working a regular job, okay, we worked 7 hours. We worked from 11 to 6. So 1,800. Actually, on one day, on Saturday, we made $1,000. So I'm gonna just do Saturday first. 1,000 divided by 7 is $142. So on Saturday, we made an average of $142. Now y'all said,
you have to say that.
What did I say?
You said you didn't say it.
What did I say?
You said we made $142 on average.
Okay. On average per hour, we made $142. Okay, $142 per hour. Now, people are saying, Donovan, I don't think they're telling you this. They're telling mostly me.
Right.
Get a part-time job. Go work somewhere and just kind of pick up something on the side to help you cover certain bills and expenses. And I'm like, listen, you are telling me that I should not try to increase the $142 per hour that I'm currently making on the weekends, right? And what I should do is I should go and find a job. I was recommended 2 jobs last week in the comments. One was Target, which I think that was the best comment in the sense of the reasoning, and the other one was Chick-fil-A. Okay, these jobs pay less than $20 an hour. Less than $20 an hour. At the craft fair on Saturday, we made $142 per hour. If you were to Google jobs that make $142 per hour, what jobs would come up? You guys have your phones. You guys can look them up. You can figure out what jobs make $142 per hour and then see, what kind of work you would have to put in to get a job that makes $142 per hour. That's crazy. And that was just on Saturday. All right. So then Sunday we made less, but we did break our record on Sunday. We made $840 on Sunday. So I'm going to divide that number by 7. So we made $120 per hour on Sunday. Okay. 2 days in a row, $1,800 combined. Okay, $1,800. Now, here's something else I don't think people are getting. What?
I think the craziest thing about what you just said
What?
is like you said, it's an average.
Yes.
So there were hours that we made $200.
$300 an hour. But for everybody, I want it to be relatable. So we could both. I'm trying to figure out the best way to communicate my thoughts. So I'm like, on an hourly standpoint, that is what we did per hour. Okay, on 2 days. Now, a lot of people think about this. All right, think about how crazy this is. $1,800 divided by 120 is $15 an hour. Okay, so 15 times 40 is $600. So let me see. You would have to work 40. That would be 1 week. Then another 40. That'd be $1,200. So $2,400. $2,400 if you worked every 5 days a week for 8 hours a week. You at the end of the week, you would make, at the end of the month, you would make $2,400, and you had to work 160 hours. Melissa and I worked 14 hours and made $1,800. Okay, so when people tell me that I should get the part-time job, I get confused because I'm thinking maybe I'm not communicating this properly. It has to be something to be in terms of my message and how I'm saying it, because it doesn't make any rational sense to me to do both of them. It would make more sense to increase the amount of money that I'm making. Now, someone brought up a great point last week. I have to check who it was. Can you check who brought up the point about taxes? Someone asked me, is this accounted for taxes? The numbers I normally give the projections don't account for taxes. Here's why. Okay. There's people need to understand that there are different games being played. Okay. All money, any money is debt. Y'all have heard this before multiple times. Some of y'all have, some of y'all have not. The reason that the money that you have is debt, the income that you say is income is actually debt, is because you are borrowing it from the Federal Reserve. Okay. Every time they print $1, you have to pay back $1.50 or $1.75. Every single time you have to pay this money back. You don't get the money by itself. Okay. So now think about this. Okay. If all money is debt, all the money that you get is debt, wouldn't it behoove you to choose the debt that's going to make you more money to use and spend? And let me use that term better. If you are using the debt that they have given you, right? They're saying, okay, here, you have a job, you have $100,000 a year, you have to pay taxes on that money, right? So they're going to tax you crazy, 30%, 45% the higher you go. That is the inflation period, bruh. The inflation number is a tax. The actual sales tax is a tax. The income tax is a tax. Social Security tax is a tax. Going and getting a ticket is a tax. When they write a ticket for you on the street, that's a tax. All the federal government jobs that you have to pay for are usually taxes. You're going to pay for the train. These are taxes that you don't know you're paying for, that you're actually paying for. Okay, so you don't get any benefit for paying those taxes. Okay, if I produce money, if I produce a thing that people want to give me money for, the government will say, that is great. We need more of that. You don't have to pay as much in taxes, right? A lot of people don't understand how this works. They are going to incentivize people who are making more money. You think that by having income, you're making money. You are not producing money. You are just getting debt from them. If I am producing something, you have a business, you're making something for other people to get. That is what you are. That is why they incentivize you to start a business. That's why they have all these tax breaks for a business. You don't have to even be a big business. Just learn how to have a business and then use the things that are already there for you. So, an example of how I'm going to do that, which is why, back to the circle around to the taxes thing, right?
And Johnathan L.
Who is it?
Johnathan L.
Johnathan L is one that asked about taxes. So, I'm going to circle back to the taxes thing, why I don't care as much about the taxes, right? They do not tax you on debt that you actually borrow. Like, when you say this is a loan, they don't tax you on that money because they know you're going to pay it back, right? The only difference is a perception of both of them. Both of them you got to pay back. One, you got to pay back your income with them taxes. And two, you got to pay back the debt because you borrowed the money. You just don't know that the income is borrowed money. You think it's yours, but it's not. They stealing that back from you. That's the difference. One of them, they taking it from you. The other one, they say you got to pay us back, right? So if I were to get a loan for $100,000, right? And my business makes $100,000 that year. I can say that the $100,000 I made is to pay back off this loan that I have, right? So that now means I don't have any income for the year. I have no income, but I still have the $100,000 in debt and to spend. Cause I can spend the money the same way you have income. You can spend the debt. Once a bank writes me a check, I can spend that debt somewhere else. Okay, so when they give me this money, I can write and go, hey, I want to get me an apartment. I want to get me a car. I want to get me another house, right? To the bank, to the Federal Reserve, to the government, that does not count as income. So they will not tax me on that. They're going to say, how much money did you keep in your pocket? I'm going to say zero. I gave it all right back to this loan. They're going to go, okay, great. You made no money. Good. Now, for the people who are out there who would like to say, well, what happens when you don't have income? What happens? How you deal with that? This is the thing I've been trying to tell when it comes to the taxes and not having income. Okay. Having income really only matters for people who have jobs. There is a whole infrastructure set up. For people who have jobs. In that infrastructure, how much money you make, how much income you bring in is important. How much your credit score is, how high it is important. In that situation, in that box, that's important. In the business box, that is not as important. If I go to an apartment complex right now and I show them my bank statements and it says that I bring in $1 million a month, and the rent is only $4,000. They would much rather rent to me as a business. I could have my business sign a lease to say I'm gonna do work in there and just sleep in the apartment myself. They don't care about the credit. They want to know how much money you are making. Okay. And then here's the other thing. Let's just say for those out there, they do care about the credit. Cause I don't want to say that no one cares about the credit. If I have a person or I have a network of people that have good credit, I can say, hey, I will pay you the money. Can you just personal guarantee this place for me or this car for me? They go, sure. You give me the money, I'll do that for you. Why would you not? If I'm going to pay the money up front, all you got to do is personally guarantee it. You have no risk in that. So at that point, I don't need to have a credit score. And then if we want to go even further into it, there are many ways to build your credit score up very quickly, especially if you have money. Okay. I can go and borrow money. I can go and buy a car. I can go get a loan for a car for a high interest rate because I have bad credit and pay it off. My credit score is going to go up. I can go buy a house if I have money, by the way. Go buy a house, pay it off, score goes up. I can get a prepaid credit card. People don't know about this. I can put money on and spend it every single month. Put money and spend it every single month. And it'll just shoot my credit score up. I'm doing all of these things. And then they have little apps like Experian. If you go on, they have Credit Boost. You could literally pay them. This was the crazy part about this. You can pay Experian to increase your credit score. It's not a lot. It's a couple, maybe like 10, 15 points. But if you go on there, I think it's $20 a month. They have Experian Boost. If you put your light bill on there, they'll give you 10 points. If you put your phone bill on there, they'll give you another 5 points. If you put another bill on there, they will just give you points just for connecting a bill that you pay for 3 months in a row. So people talk to me about credit, and I'm like, listen, I understand how credit works. I get it. I understand how important it's supposed to be, how important they want it to be, but it's not. The credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, those are just companies. They are not even government companies. These are just regular private companies. They say, you know what we need? I think a good businessman. This is the conversation that they had. Okay, the convo that they probably had in a closed room said, listen, how do I know if I could trust a person lending money? I need a way to figure that out. They said, you know what I should do? I should create a business that gives people a score for how well they pay things back. They said, you know, that's a great idea. And if we get enough people signed up on there, then it'll validate how important the score is. And then they made it. And then somebody else said, "Ooh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna do that too." And then Experian came up with Equifax. Someone else said, "Ooh, y'all really got a good idea." And then TransUnion came up. And if you really want to be honest, there's a bunch of other people that have credit scores because there are different types of scores. They have the Vantage Score 3.0. They have the other. So y'all say my credit score is bad. For which company? Which one? Which company are we talking about? There's so many different credit bureaus. There's only 3 that most people know about, but there's a lot of them. But I'm gonna go on. I'll go on for too long for that. But that is part of the reason why when you talk to me about credit, I'm like, listen, I understand credit. Do y'all understand credit? Because honestly, again, if I want to buy real estate, you think I need good credit for that? No, I could have a friend that has good credit, and I have money. We can just partner. I'll give them 20%, 30%, whatever the number is. Honestly, look into Grant Cardone. Listen, y'all look. Yeah, I'm just telling y'all that. But we're going to the next thing. So the Turo video, I feel like I have a fire Turo video. I have already edited it, and I just feel like I should put it out. I feel like it will do well. But I'm still on the fence, like, I gotta make a thumbnail. So maybe in the turnstile I'll make one, but I'm still on the fence. I'm not really sure yet. I'm gonna put it out at some point. I think it's really good. I think I edited it pretty well. It's better than all the other ones. So I'm thinking it might help our channel grow a little bit more. But I think for life update, that is about it. Oh, and Melissa has applied for a grant. So if we get the grant, it's another $5,000. And that one is more or less free money. Because at that point, you don't have to pay taxes on that. I think you do, honestly. Don't you pay taxes on grants?
I don't know, but it's not a loan.
Right, but it's a grant. Do you got to pay taxes on that?
I don't know if you have to.
Oh, okay. I feel like they charge you tax. Like they'll have like a number. Like, oh, you got money, so you got to pay taxes, bruh. Isn't it crazy? If I come to you and give you $1 million, they tax you on that as a gift. If I give you $1 million, they say, nah, give me some of that. Give me a piece of that. But I digress. But yeah, I do think if we get that grant, that would also help us a lot because we could finally book the place in Chelsea. So that would help out tremendously. But I think as far as the life update, that is it. So now, okay, episode playback. A couple of weeks ago, I had asked questions, right? And I don't know if you guys asked your counterparts or not. And the question was, as a woman, okay, if you had to give if you had to give your man all of your money, would you do it? Do you feel comfortable having a check that you get paid every week and depositing that check into your man's account? You ask that question. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all are like, I would never do that because I don't trust him. It's like, well, that says a lot. It says a lot that you don't trust your man that you sleep with and want to have a family with, that you would not give him all of your money, right? Especially if he's supposed to be the one that's leading and providing for you. But everybody's different situation is different. But I think it's funny because we called one of Melissa's friends, okay? And my point, it was proven in that phone call, okay? So we called her and we said, hey, would you feel comfortable giving your man all your money? She was like, absolutely, yes, 100%, yep. I was like, damn, you ever think about it? She's like, nope. He's a very responsible individual. I would have no problem giving him all of my money at all. Don't even care. I'm like, I see him. I know how he manages money. I know he takes care of himself. I know that he would be fine with my money. I trust him, right? Now, when you hear it, it makes you go, ooh. Makes you tingle, right? Makes you go, ooh, you got a man like that you just trust with all your money, right? And then I feel like it makes other people question, like, wow, well, why do you trust him so much with your money? Like, you feel comfortable you would just give him all of everything? I keep saying this, Okay. I really believe that there is, I think at the core, right? At the core of men and women, there's several differences, but this is one of them. I think one of those things is the man at his core wants to lead and give direction. I think at the core, the woman wants to be led and support the person leading. That is what I think is at the core. Now, with that being said, does that mean that you can't switch it up? It does not mean that, but it means that at any time that you switch it up, you have to be cognizant of the fact that there may be bumps in the road because you are going against the core of that person. That's what I mean by that. Okay, so the Sarah's thing I like the most, she has said, I used to work part-time at Target, 10% discount on all the necessities and a couple $100 for a couple days work. It was a supplement. Well, the first thing is a couple days of work for our schedule would be very intensive, because what I feel like people don't understand is how our schedule is set up. Tuesday, we do the podcast. Okay. Right now, we were able to change the time of the podcast because we have things to do. All right. We have to go to get beeswax. We have to drive all the way to the city to get beeswax. Will Melissa go and drive out there to get it?
New Jersey.
What did I say?
The city.
Right. We have to drive to New Jersey, another state across, to get beeswax. So let's say I'm at work right now, because, a lot of y'all want me to be at part-time work. Let's say I'm at work right now. So y'all want me to send Melissa to go get the beeswax from Jersey by herself, then drive back over here, then go to Turnstile by herself in the train station. And then when we come home tomorrow, she would then make the candles all from Wednesday until the end of the week, because I'm working a couple of days at a part-time job. Is that what you would want? And then for the weekend, the craft fair. I'm trying to figure out what exactly are we referring to. But I do like Sarah's point, because I do feel like the 10%, because we already do eat and shop and things like that, we would be able to utilize that 10% discount. It's a discount. But my thing is, so what that means is, yes, I'm going to get 10% off at Target, but can I choose my own hours? Probably not. And then how many days am I giving up for that 10%? Because am I doing a craft for the weekend and then going to work on Monday?
Working part-time, they're going to tell you what you do.
Right. I think people forget, and that's just what I don't understand. I don't know if y'all work in these type of jobs. When I was working, you could not tell them which hours of the day you wanted to work every single week. You could pick from what they gave you. And then they might not even give you what you wanted, because for whatever reason. Okay. I remember there were times I wanted to work more. They were like, nah, you can't work more. And I'm like, I can't make more money? They're like, no, we don't want you to work more. I'm like, but nobody's even, there was a point in time where people were not, multiple times in my life, multiple times at different jobs, I was hungry for the hours, hungry. And I would call my people, be like, yo, bro, you out? Let me get your hours. Call me up right now. Let me get your hours. All the time. It got to a point where at multiple jobs, they're like, Donovan, you cannot do that. Like we only want you to work up to 35 hours. You can't keep calling everybody. I think I did it like 2-3 weeks in a row, and they were like, you making too much money. Like, you can't do that. And I'm like, that seems preposterous. They don't want to come in. I'm willing to come in, and you'd rather have nobody here because you don't want to pay me the money? I'm like, that's ridiculous. It is insane. So for people to recommend for me to get a job, they're not going to, and more often than not, they want help on the weekends, the days that nobody wants to come in. That's when they want help. So that means that I would not be at the craft fair to make the $142 per hour. I would instead be making $15 an hour for Target or Chick-fil-A. Okay. So that to me is why it does not work for our schedule. And that is literally just me talking about this week. If we have meetings to do or phone calls to make, or something goes wrong with a supplier we have to get stuff from, you're telling me to pretty much say, Melissa, handle everything by yourself, and I'm going to be over here working and making $200 this week or $300 this week. And she'll probably say, Madonna, we make that on the weekend, right? I'm like, I know, but YouTube said I should get a part-time job to support you, and I need to make $300 this week because that's what men do. There's a game being played. There are different games being played. That game I don't want to play. Okay, then she recommended I should work overnight at one of those places. It said it'll create a boundary and say all the job money is for groceries and food and things to live. All the candle money is reinvested. This is what I'm saying. I don't know. How much do you guys value time? Because this is I think the problem is, okay? I think that when a lot of people are not at work, they aren't doing anything. A lot of people, they go to work and they come home and they relax, okay? If I was to trade my time right now for work, it would not make me more money. I don't know if that makes sense, what I'm saying?
Anyway.
I think that when people leave their job, they don't do anything.
Yeah, you want to decompress. You don't really want to do more. You can, but you're limited to what you can do.
Right. So I think that people think that because I'm not working at a job, that I am decompressing all day.
Oh, yeah, 100%, for sure.
Right.
Yeah, people think we free all the time.
Right. And it's like...
I have no free time.
Right. When I'm not at work and somebody else is not at work, I'm doing work, just not at work. I'm doing it at home. I'm calling...
It's not for someone else.
What do you mean?
Working, I feel like working, people see it as me doing something for someone else. Because even with all the work that we did for editing videos and before the candles, it was hard for me myself to even, like, when I have conversations with people, they're like, what you doing today? I'm like, editing videos and stuff. Because I'm like, should I say that that's working? Because it's not for somebody else. That's my concept of work. I'm doing something for someone else. I'm working for myself. Right. But it's hard to get that in your head. Right. Where it's like, well, you're just home. Like, can't you just edit it later? And it's like, no, I'm working. Work.
Bruh, like I said, right now, we had to wake up early, shoot the podcast early, so we can drive out to Jersey to get the beats. We have to drive back over here to then go to the craft fair or to go to Turnstile and then work at Turnstile and sell stuff there.
We also have to go to the post office.
And the post office. And then tomorrow, Melissa's going to be making candles. I'm going to be at Turnstile. And then I have to edit the video, probably either there or here. Then in Thursday, making more candles. Then Friday, hopefully we're free. And then Saturday and Sunday is the craft fair. And it's triple booked. So we have to manage 3 different places on one day. 3. That means that's 6 different people. We have to figure out how to manage all those people at all different places. And you're like, well, just go work. How? So, right. The time that I would either be too tired to go and drive to Jersey to do such a thing because I was working all night. Because right now, let's say I worked overnight, right? I would get off at 6 a.m.? So I worked for the last couple hours at 6. Let's say I got to work at 10 p.m. I worked till 6 a.m. I now got to do the podcast. Then I got to drive to Jersey, do everything I just said, and I made an extra $100. I would much rather sleep. Because if I could sleep for those 6 hours, I could make that $100 do something else. I think I just sold 2 Turo spreadsheets. That's $40.
Bruh.
While I was out pumping gas.
Who was getting orders while we was at the craft?
At the craft fair, we're getting orders from the online website. Listen, like I said, and then, okay, so that's Sarah. And then paying down your debts. Shout out to her, right? We on the same page as this. She said, I'm team pay your debts, but not at the expense of yourself, okay? Why are you paying debt if you are losing? No, you don't benefit from that. If you have a debt for $100,000, if you have a credit card for $1,000, right? And you have to eat, would you put the $1,000 to eat in or to the credit card? Which one are you doing? Like, and here's the thing: you put the $1,000 to the credit card, so I can spend it again. They're gonna charge you interest on that $1,000, so you're gonna have that $1,000 you put back into there. They now said, I'm taking $200 from that because that's interest. So now you have $800. You just lost $200 for no reason because just by paying it back, you lost money. So it's like, bro, come on. What are we doing? Okay, so Johnathan L said, it's weird watching this channel because I'm rooting for you, but it's like watching a train crash over and over. He gave me 4 things I should work on. Learn how to take criticism, which I don't feel like I have a problem with. Maybe that means not taking criticism well. I would prefer someone to be very specific, like Sarah was. Hey, if you get a job at Target, 10% off, you get your groceries at a cheaper price, you can work overnight. I like those I appreciate that, right? This one says learn how to take criticism with no actual give and take of what that means. Then it was learn how to run a business respectfully. Don't know what that means. What is running a business? This is another thing too, okay? When it comes to running a business, right? I think a problem that a lot of people have is that y'all have not seen people actually start a business and run a business. You have read the books of what they went through. You have seen the interviews of what they've experienced, but you have not seen them go through the things. You could pick up any book from any successful person across the board, and I guarantee you, if you read the book, they were doing wild stuff all the time. All the time, wild stuff, right? Manage your expectations. Don't know what that means. And then set realistic goals, actionable items. I feel like the last two are kind of similar. Right. So the next question was very long, so I'm not going to go into that one. Maybe I'll just on the next podcast. I can go back. It was episode 134 in the comment section. You could check that one from Johnathan L, the second comment. And people keep thinking, like I said, it's cool. Yes, I want $10 billion. Yes, I do want $10 billion. Who doesn't? If I asked you, do you want $10 billion, would you say yes? You would. So same here, right? And people feel like it would make me happy to have $10 billion. I probably would be a lot happier with $10 billion than my bank account right now. Pretty sure. Yesterday was Melissa's birthday, so you all know that happy birthday to Melissa. We was working, and yesterday we went out to eat for her birthday. We went out to, what's the name of that place?
Gyukaku.
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 It's a Korean barbecue place.
Oh, okay. I thought that was close. Gyukaku. All right. Enigma. We're gonna have you on a Discord too. Everybody gonna be on Discord. I want everybody pull up. It's gonna be a party on the Discord. I'm telling y'all. We gotta figure out a day and time for everybody to be chilling and come through. Honestly, for us, we could probably do it more often. And everybody will probably have their day that they could come in. So I'm really excited for that. Like I said, I want Enigma to pull up. Sarah was saying she be wanting to comment and make a video. She said Sarah be saying that she wants to make a video about the topics that we have on the podcast. And I'm like, make the video, Sarah. Make the video. And Sarah Alaba will be on. Hopefully we'll come on the Discord. We can all chop it up with Sarah Alaba, Sarah Taru, Enigma, Johnathan L, 818 Southside. Who else is on there that comments a lot? I haven't seen Maxine in a while. So shout out to Maxine. I don't know where you've been at. Hope everything's cool with you. Dr. Detroit, who said work at Chick-fil-A. Crazy. I don't know who Mia. Who's Mia? Go back up. To Mia. Right. Shout out to Mia Smart. Probably business owner, probably no business. Shout out to you. Great comment. And then shout out to my guy, Lewis Williams. Yes, we are 100% in the miracle, bro. This is insane, and it is an exciting journey, and I'm just excited to be on it. But it is by far a miracle of some sort. Okay, so I'm excited. I would say we second podcast standing up. My feet starting to hurt. So we will be back here next Tuesday. Okay, you can find all the behind the scenes content on our social medias. Mine is DonivanGray, DonivanGray, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend Anita Byrne, ANETABURN. All right, you know what it is. #BambooProject 2022. We going crazy. All right, we about to be booked out for the rest of the year. Pull to the Discord. We going crazy. We're gonna start going crazy in the Discord. I'm telling you, it's gonna be so much fun. At least for me. I have a lot of fun debating with people. And with that being said, Bamboo Project out.